You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by.
Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming to the discussion meeting, the second meeting of the month of the Board of Trustees and the Mayor for August 25th, 2021. Any recognitions or special announcements, Clerk?
Just a 9/11 event will take place, Vizier Homestead, on the 11th, 7 p.m.
So noted. Roll call.
Mayor Serino,
Present.
Trustee Sadati, absent. Trustee Ponte, absent. Trustee Nesnet,
Here.
Trustee Huber,
Present.
Trustee Ruffin,
Here.
Trustee Lauricella,
Here.
Village Attorney Wallace.
Here.
Agenda.
In light of the fact that there are two absent board members, 4 votes are needed out of us 5 to pass an item. Okay, so with that said, we seek approval to hire part-time police officer Kristen
Bahana.
Bahana, contingent upon approved background check and passing the required physical.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye.
At this time, Mayor, I'm going to administer the oath of office to Kristen.
You want to take pictures? Okay. Yeah. We're going to be right here. You can take a picture this way. We'll get Cindy. Sorry, Cindy. Okay. I'm going to read the oath, and at the end you just say I do, and then you sign the book. State of New York, County of Dutchess, Village of Wappingers Falls. I, Kristen Bahana, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of part-time police officer according to the best of your ability.
I do.
Signed. Right there. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I have a pen.
Thank
Do you like that color?
you. Yes, my favorite actually.
And I have a seal, a pen. It's a seal of the Village of Wappingers Falls.
Oh, thank you.
Again, welcome on board. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Did you get all the? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Charlie, are you leaving?
I can come back in.
Okay. Okay.
Next item is to accept the resignation of Corey Yusevich, the grant writer, effective 9/16/2021.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Any discussion, questions, whatever? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Nay? Mayor votes aye. Carried. Next item is Mayor to appoint Recreation Commission. Gonna appoint 7 members. I actually have 9, but 2 others didn't get back with me to absolutely confirm. So I'm appointing 7, and there'll be possible 2 at the next meeting. The names are Joan O'Brien, Keely Sheehan, John Pilichek, Beth Huber, Charlie Rizzo, Don McCormick, and Anne Marie Panaleo.
I need a motion to move on that.
I'll make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
That was you?
No, Mike.
Mike?
Aye.
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 Mayor votes aye. Carried. Discussion. Auto fleet repair consolidation.
The board asked me at the last meeting to go out to 3 separate repair shops with a list of the fleet autos, and I did. And I sent out the results to all of you via an email. I don't know if you've had time to go over it, or if you've had time to discuss it, or if you don't want to move on it tonight. But you should have in your possession those 3 quotes. If not, I can get them to you tomorrow again.
Because they involve contracts, you may make a motion at the appropriate time to discuss that in executive session. There's action.
I don't have it either.
I don't have them, just so you know.
I don't either.
Neither does
I
trustee
did get the
Niznik.
email of them, but I don't have them in hard copy.
Oh, I have them in my briefcase, but I didn't make additional copies. You want to know what they are?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Oh, here we go. I got them in the email. Well, in the email. But.
Big difference.
As your request at the August 11th Village Board meeting, here are the following. Wapner's Auto Tech, $55. They do all police cars at the RPH Main Street. They do building department, sometimes water department, $98. L's Auto, Middlebush Road. They do highway department, mostly trucks, pickup trucks, diesel vehicles, $122. Well, $123. Because most of the fire chief's vehicles are still under warranty, they take them to Healy Chevrolet. Also attached to this list were the 24 vehicles that I had them review.
I listed them all so they knew what kind of vehicles they were. And individually,
RPH Auto Repair. As far as the labor rate for the village, we are currently at 109 to labor rate, but they could do 98 for village vehicles if they got all 24. Wappingers Auto Tech. They will do it for $55 per book time. They also provide free towing to the facility for all mechanical breakdowns, free jump starts and tire changes, free labor on oil changes, and no charge for multi-point vehicle inspection, courtesy transportation to any officer or village employee back to headquarters or village establishment when dropping off a vehicle. And again, it's $55 an hour. They do the majority of the work of the fleet right now. The other one is RPH. Did I say RPH?
Yes. Should be Al's Garage.
Al's Auto. Al's Auto can offer a fair and honest vehicle repairs of $123 per hour. They go on to say they repair only what's needed. That's nice. And so that's the summary. The low bid right now is Wappingers Auto Tech, plus all the extra stuff they've been doing for us for as long as I've been here. Any other questions about the quotes?
Are we looking to vote on this tonight?
I think so, unless the attorney thinks we need to do a contract.
Only, I have a concern or maybe a question. Wappingers Auto Tech seems to be doing majority of, or all the police cars. So if we have cars over there and we bring other stuff over to him, and then he does work for other people also, he's going to be swamped with all our stuff. I don't see why we can't keep what we have the way it is. Only because the highway garage deals with Al's Garage because it's diesel, and the turnaround is quick. I mean, these guys use their trucks every day.
Do we still have our own diesel mechanic we were using?
He does the heavy equipment. And the backhoes, the loaders, stuff like that. Machines down in the shop.
What's his rate?
$40 an hour.
Well, he's got no overhead.
Right.
I mean, I'm not really for it. I think it's a great idea if we had our own mechanic to work here, but to swamp one company with, what did you say, John? There's 23 vehicles?
24.
24 vehicles?
And how many?
Does that include our fire vehicles that go to warranty?
Well, there's one fire chief I'm told that for some reason keeps going back to that dealer. The other two go to RPH,
And RPH was considerably also lower than Al's, right?
98.
Well, it's 109, but would be 98 if they get all the vehicles.
Right.
Now, I know the water department and Brian uses RPH, and they seem to like them.
And they're also in the village.
Yeah. I agree with Trustee Huber about the possibility that we could overwhelm and then not really be able to get.
I mean, we need our patrol cars on the road as much as we need our highway equipment on the road also. And, you know, you can't outweigh one or the other. I mean, both needed as is.
I just don't like saying that someone can't handle something without, I mean, obviously, they put the bid in,
Yeah.
and, you know, we're just, why did we even ask them if we didn't think they could handle it?
The bid went out to bid? Or
Well,
did we go to them?
we actually didn't go out to bid, but we put out the, you know, we went to get the quotes.
Well, it's worth a pointed question to just ask them, listen, do you think you'll be able to?
I mean, his shop is not the biggest shop.
Well, the whole purpose of this, I believe, is to have somewhat of a control over where the cars are going to and have somewhat of a control over the prices that we're paying. So that's a considerable difference right there. So I just don't want to sit up there and just assume that they can't handle something without finding out that they can't handle something.
Well, what's the breakdown on the breakdowns of the cars or the maintenance of the cars? Do we know that?
I wouldn't have that history, but I think there's one of the officers that handles the fleet for the police department.
We're also in the process of getting 2 new cars, and we're going to be eliminating some, then those cars are going to be under warranty, and we'll be eliminating some of the, and if I'm speaking wrong, we're going to be eliminating some of the ones that were problems in the past.
Right.
So out of that fleet, the numbers that he's mentioning, 2 of them are going to be replaced by new cars that are going under warranty.
And you're getting 2 new dump trucks down the highway. And you're getting rid of 2 old pickups.
And I'm assuming they would have some sort of warranty, Kevin? I don't know.
Yes. So you bought a dump truck a year or 2 ago that is possibly still under warranty, and you're getting another one probably.
So that
not
fleet
this year, but next
size,
year.
as far as having to go out and be serviced by an outside company that we choose, is going to be smaller. Because also the zoning car, the planning zoning car is going to be replaced, and that's also going to be under warranty. So when we say we have 22, 23, or 24 cars, whatever it was,
You really have 18.
we really have less than that, because we're replacing those cars with cars that are going to be under warranty. I just wanted to mention it.
Well, I think it is highly unlikely, just from a numbers point of view, that you would have all 24 cars in the shop at one time.
Well, you could have a bad day.
Yeah, well, you could.
It's a pretty bad day.
Cars are going to be there. You could have a bad day. I do recall a time at the fire department, 2 engines broke down at the same call at the same time. We had to call in mutual aid to help. So it happens.
Do you want to table this until you get a vehicle history for each vehicle?
Yes, please, if we could.
Okay. Motion to table by,
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Mayor votes aye.
So at the next meeting, I'm gonna reach out to the managers this week. So at your next meeting in September, you want to have the vehicle history from each of the 4 departments.
Yeah, of the vehicles we have.
Okay.
And you'll probably find a few problem child, so to speak.
Probably.
And if we're getting a new vehicle, say the police, it should be noted which one is going to be retired, the car vehicle,
Now,
and
that,
the new ones come in.
now are these guys diesel mechanics also? Do we know of?
I
That
did.
deal with the new DEF system?
I didn't ask that technically. I didn't get into any of that with them. I just asked them for their hourly shop rate for the inventory that I gave them. The inventory that I gave them doesn't really say if it's gas or vehicle, or gas or diesel.
So, I'm sorry, do we have does he still work for us, the diesel mechanic?
Yes. But not all the time, I don't think.
Well, he does heavy equipment.
Yeah.
He does backhoes.
Right.
So he doesn't, so we don't have our own sustained diesel, okay.
No, but when he comes to work, he charges that $40
$40 an hour, I think it is.
$40 an hour.
Go home too, but I think it's 40.
Let's have him do the fleet.
Yep. We should have our own person come in and do the fleet.
Oh, I agree. There's a nice place down in the boathouse.
Yep.
A water department, garage.
The next item, the board has been patiently waiting for candidates. We ran the ad 4 times, 4 weeks. I have 2 interested candidates that the Personnel Committee will probably want to look at
Okay.
soon. Okay. So when did you want to do that?
If you could, did you email that to us?
Email?
You mean email them to me?
Okay. All right, I'll do that tomorrow.
There's only 2, right?
Only 2.
Okay,
Corey wanted to give you an update.
that grand update, Cory?
Oops, sorry. I know you don't want me to touch it. So yeah, just a couple quick updates. I know the boathouse has been going on since I've been in high school. It feels like it's been forever, so we're trying to finish that up. I was out in and out of the doctors and hospital with some illnesses past couple weeks. John ended up contacting our architect, Mike Buffy, who sent us some documentation, electrical inspection, and our fire that's now been set up. Some of it is what Brian needed. There's other stuff that I guess Brian said on top of that I'm meeting with him tomorrow to further get. And then once I meet with Brian with that, I can bring it back to Mike Buffy and hopefully wrap up any inspection we need. Because at this point, the lampposts have come there. They haven't been installed yet, but everything we've been waiting on is now there and ready to be installed, and we're finally ready to officially close out. So after my meeting with Brian tomorrow and then talking with our architect, we'll be able to finally tie that up.
The lampposts, though, aren't part of the CO, though.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, as far as everything once that happens, our contractors are done. We're no longer doing any more physical work, so it's just the paper side of it. And then on top of that, our EPA, so we're going for an extension. We kind of got between COVID and then with John Zarowski over this winter and then his inevitable departure from KC, we got a little bit behind on our EPA contract and our department, or our LWRP contract. I've spoke with both groups already, and they're going to accept an extension. We just have to actually do the extension process. So I started that today. As I told the mayor, the EPA sent him some emails that he has to fill out as the authorized person. And then LWRP, I have a meeting on Tuesday with the Department of State to go through the process of extending those, both for another year. And then we can do our pilot projects this spring and our testing at the Bleachery this spring as well, and wrap up those 2 big projects. And so those are the 3 main things I wanted to bring up. And just those are probably our 3 longest running projects. And between finishing up the boathouse this year and then extending the LWRP and the EPA brownfield for another year is where we're going to be at. So I can answer any questions if you need about any of those.
It's, not talk about the grants, but did you talk to Pete about the boxes?
Not yet. I gave him a text, but I didn't get a response from him yet. But I'll try and give him another call tomorrow as well.
I mean, I don't think he wants to get rid of them out of his office, but they're not
Sure.
in the way, but they're,
Right.
I think they want to go out.
No, that makes sense.
And a while back when the boat was in the lake, the EPA boat, did they ever get back to you about anything about that?
Yeah, so I don't know if I talked about that. So it is part of that the lower Wappinger Creek was a Superfund site.
Yeah.
And so they were up there doing some testing on the water coming in.
Okay.
And we actually opened up dialogue with them about seeing if they would be willing to incorporate the lake as part of that Superfund site.
Awesome.
And the guy said it's something he could look into, which would be absolutely outstanding if they would be able to do that. So yeah, and I said, I mean, they're testing in there anyway, so we'll see what they say, but we've opened that option.
Great.
See what happens.
Thanks, Cory.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next section on the village board workshop meeting from Casey Engineering, for the sake of brevity and saving money, we asked Casey not to attend the meeting, but to send us her summary, her monthly summary, which I printed is on the agenda. So the thought is that you would look through it, and if you had any questions about it, you could call her directly. But I would like to draw your attention to page 2, the alleyway. It's midway down half that page. As the stormwater coordinator and as the receiver of complaints, there's a runoff problem on Reservoir. Back in February 2020, the board at the time authorized Casey Engineering to do a study of the alleyway that's adjacent to 10 Market Street, the building that burned down February 26, 2020. They started to do the study. They did the survey. The fire broke out. We told them to hold off, don't go any further with the project till we get back to you. So they did. And then about a month or two ago, I started to say, look, let's get the study going again, because the merchants over there on East Main Street are complaining about water runoff, and we really need to do something about those 2 catch basins. It was suggested that the village clean out the 2 basins, make sure they're connected to each other, take the second one, which is midway down, and connect it to the one in the street at Market Street, and remove the stairs. That's the proposal. At the last board meeting, this board said to go out to bid for an engineering study. Well, you already have it. So I'm just saying, before you go out and advertise for bids for another engineer to tell you what they think you should do there, I personally think that's the solution. I've seen the drawings that Casey put together. I think she emailed them to everyone. And that, in my mind, would be the solution. Remove the stairs that are a hazard to begin with, and simply connect pipes from the top to the middle one to the street. Grade it, and maybe think about a quit deed to get out of it completely. My suggestion.
I agree. It would be great. They are supposedly looking for a spot to put their trash cans. And that could be a potential spot, meaning 10 Market Street.
Well, if I could just say, I was speaking to the building inspector yesterday, and the issue is going to be if in any way the applicant expands his footprint completely out of compliance, he has to remain in the foundation that is there. And there's nothing, there's not even open for discussion. He's got to stay within the confines of the existing footprint, and that will not. This was expressed to me by Brian Murphy. He watched our conversation in the last meeting when I was suggesting that perhaps, if we want to give it to them, he's got to have a reason to want to use it. So,
Well, that's later down the road.
no,
actually,
hold on a minute.
Yeah, it would actually take a non-conforming property at the present moment, okay? He would not be allowed to build since the property's not conforming, he would not be able to build what he had.
He's being grandfathered in because he's doing it within an 18-month window, and everything's being grandfathered in. The parking, the amount of bedrooms, the whole thing. So if we give him that property and he utilizes it to say have garbage, like Trustee Huber suggesting, which is a great idea, it completely it now makes him out of compliance. He will not get grandfathered in, and it will not work.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So I can explain it, but basically you would be giving the property or selling the property to him as an assemblage, which would take him, it would create a totally new property that would be subject to the present zoning, and he could not build what he wants to build. So it would hurt his application.
If you gave him the property.
Exactly.
Well, don't give it.
And if he utilized it.
Yeah.
Well, don't give it to him.
So
Well, you just said quick.
So what we.
Well, if
what
you
ha-
can't, then
know,
you can't. But-
Right, so that's what I was just saying.
But what I'm interested in is getting the water to flow down to Market Street. That's my objective.
Right. Well, I was just speaking about you just saying give him the land, and then
Oh.
Trustee Huber saying have him use it for garbage, and I was just saying that's an impossibility.
Right.
And I also, just to be clear, the reason why I said we should go to bid is because I don't have the confidence in that water runoff study.
So instead of taking what they've already given us, go out to bid for another engineer to come in and tell us.
Well, no, I'm just saying that my position is, based on a series of issues, a series of complaints, a series of situations that we find ourselves in right now, where we're trying to rectify work that was already done, many programs and things that we're all well aware of.
Do you want me to
I'm
go out,
hesitant.
do you want me to type up a bid, request for bid?
There's already work product from
Yeah.
prior.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not asking you to do that. He said he supports it. I'm just letting you know I don't. That's all.
Who would do the work? Would our highway department do that work?
That's a good question.
If our highway department's gonna do that work, can we just have the highway department go over in detail what has already been done?
You gotta be careful with this. Because the steps are attached to the foundation, and you just can't go in there and start scooping it out.
Exactly.
You might damage the foundation. You gotta have somebody with some technical knowledge to be there. If it's not KC, that's fine, but somebody's gotta be there that's a structural engineer. That's what you need. That's why I'm saying, do you wanna go out to bid to get a structural engineer?
That's what I would do. That's what we talked about
do
last
it.
time. I mean, we already went through that.
Right.
But then you've uncovered this since our last meeting that there is this information.
Yes.
And I'm just saying, we're still concerned about manhole covers.
Oh,
So, that's my opinion. It's my position on the engineering is not gonna change. So, it doesn't mean that I have the right position, it's just my position. So, if the board thinks we continue on this, that's fine. I can still have a no vote, but if you got all the votes to be yes, then it's a yes.
I think you already voted at the last meeting, you wanna go out to bid for a structural engineer.
No, but I'm
Okay.
saying, in light of
We have
that,
to-
he's now
have to-
surfaced this new plan. So if you guys want to change and go with that plan, that's fine. But this is not just take a pipe, connect a pipe, and connect another pipe, as just outlined by Clerk Karch. This is all work that's connected in rock and concrete, that is connected to this applicant's foundation and other things, and it might be a bigger plan.
John, do you think it would be helpful if we had the study that we paid for, if they came before the board to at least explain and recommend a course of action?
Casey is available to provide more detail upon request and reactivation of the previously authorized project. Work beyond the previously established budget would require a proposal update and village board authorization.
So they're basically saying that they have a recommendation, and I think that they should come before the board to explain what would need to be done. And they aren't doing the work. We have to make a determination as to the scope of the work, who'd be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it can be done internally, that's one thing, but if it can't be and it has to go out to bid, then we'd have to follow our procedures.
Well, I'm being called by property owners, and I don't know what to tell them.
We've already had a motion to go out to bid for it, correct?
Yep.
So let's just go out to bid.
Are you preparing a bid package
Well, the bid for,
for engineers to do a study? Didn't you say at the last meeting that you would?
as long as it's specified what we're going out to bid for, I can do whatever you want, but I don't even know how to word it unless she put it together for me.
Well, it's apparent that the steps are part of the foundation. It's apparent that KC has done the study for this project.
In 2020.
There's remedial work that needs to be done as a result of the study. And the scope of the work, I guess, would have to be, I'll take a look at it and talk to her, but that is what you would be getting out to bid. Is that what we're doing?
Sounds like that's what they want to do. I don't know.
It'd be up to the pleasure of the board to make that determination at this point in time. Or do you want to just table this so that we can find out if our highway department is capable of performing that work?
Well, if we have to go underneath the steps and the steps are attached to the building, I don't think the village highway department, nor does the village want to be responsible for the foundation.
Exactly.
Fair?
I agree.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not speaking for Pete, but I think Pete might be on the same terms as that.
I don't even know if we could.
No, it's village property.
It's village property, but the stairs are attached to his another building.
I mean, but there's no building on top of the foundation right now. I mean,
No, but if he's using the foundation, the old foundation for the new building, and we do damage to it, then I think,
I mean, how much damage could we do if someone they saw cut the stairs even 6 inches on the outside of the foundation?
we all know how our luck is.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, how much damage can you do with a diamond tipped saw blade and just cut the concrete?
I could
And
talk
take all the stairs out,
I could talk to Pete about it and get back to the board.
you know, but one way or the other, part of this bid that we're looking to do, if we have someone else do it, is redundant work, because we've already done it. And they've done it, KC has done it.
No, they did the engineering. We'd have to hire a contractor to actually implement the specifications for the clean out. Or make a determination if clean out is even feasible.
Let's assume that we're going to use KC Engineering's plan. We hire a contractor. How do we just protect ourselves in case there is damage to the foundation? I mean, we have insurance. Would it cover us for something like this?
Wouldn't
Our
the contractor have
subcontractor
insurance?
would have insurance. As long as that's doable, I mean, I'm in to get this project done as soon as possible. Just get it done before that building is built. We don't need any other trip and falls. John's getting complaints.
Right.
We can take care of this. Just let's make sure as a village we're properly protected. That's all.
Yep, okay.
So, we want to table it then until September and do some other work in between relative to this issue.
The other alternative is to have our village clerk circulate out to bid based on the specifications of the KC.
So right now, what the question is whether we're gonna do it ourselves or have somebody else do it? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's one of the options.
Yeah, essentially.
And I just want to just say to the board, you just have to make sure that you have confidence that the study and the suggestion is one to go with. That was my biggest thing. You could be, there's different ways to skin a cat, so you just want to make sure that that's the way to do it. That's all. I'm somebody who agrees when something's a significant problem and it's weighed on the village for years and all kinds of people have been injured or lawsuits have been brought. You want to make sure that it's done and it's done correctly the first time. And we haven't had a recent thing where they don't have that track record lately. And so I don't know what else I have to say about that. But if you think that seems reasonable, then go for it. But it's not about, well, we have the plan. It's, do you have confidence that plan is a sound one? That's what I'm asking the board right now. And if the answer is yes, based on the other situations, and Mike, you're aware of some of them, if you're like, yes, I have confidence, then good. Have confidence and stand on, 2 feet about it. But I don't have that confidence.
Maybe about 75%.
Okay, well, you got to check your gut, and maybe that's good. But we've done work and redone work and redone work.
I make a motion, we go out to bid for the engineer to look at this project, to do this project, and see what we gotta do.
Well, I can put an ad in the paper, easy enough, but I'm not an engineer, and I can't stand there with an engineering company and say, well, what do you think we ought to do here about this water runoff problem?
Yeah,
Right.
I
Somebody
think
should be there.
you have an engineer that certified the work and has an errors and omissions, a professional liability clause.
Isn't that a problem?
No, I think that, you're gonna, we asked them to do the work, we agreed to pay them to do the work, the board did, and they did the work. You guys gotta make a decision if it's financially cost conscious and feasible to go with that. If you're saying that, you don't wanna do that because it's a leap of faith that you don't wanna take, that's one thing. But the design itself is covered.
Oh, is covered. I'm
Is
sorry.
covered under their E&O.
I
of
see.
course.
I thought you said it was.
So,
How long is the work?
For more funds.
How long is it guaranteed for?
well, the malpractice statute of limitations is 3 years.
What about in the circus? And that's the only. There's no other shorter time frames like with some of the other things where we're told, well,
Not as a professional.
I'll show you all the funds.
Not as a professional like that. Engineers.
but I'm saying where we had the situation with manholes, that it was 14 months or how long was it that they started to fail? Does anyone?
About 18 months.
18 months, and we were told you were outside the 1 year. So why was there 1 year on that? Will there be 1 year on this? These are things that if we're going to advocate for the residents and the building owners and the business owners, we got to really make sure that if we're giving it,
I think you're talking about two different things.
How, though?
Because that work was done by a contractor. It went out to bid, and the contractor's warranty, I believe, was for 1 year. That's what you're asking. This work is
Yeah, but has it been inspected? Was it inspected
wasn't-
correctly?
it's
We can go on a
at
field
the
trip.
engineering stage right now. If it's determined that it was a faulty engineering plan, that's what the 3 years
Okay.
is about.
all right, well, I don't want to get bogged down in the minutia. I've said what I think, and that's what I think.
Well, the situation you have with this particular project is about 75% into the project now. They've already made some recommendations. You want to check with the highway department, see if they can do it. I can save you that stuff right now. The answer is no. So, do you want KC to finish, or do you want to terminate them now and go back to square one? That's really,
Just on the point you just made, they don't have the equipment to do that?
that's what I'm told.
Oh, okay.
So your decision is, do you want to finish this project where KC, or do you want it where it is and go back to the beginning and get another engineer to come in and... But you do have the part of the survey. They didn't complete the entire survey.
How much has been spent to date, do you know?
I don't know.
Go back to the beginning with the new engineer.
You know, then she says she also wants to go over the budget again, too.
I make a motion, we go out and get another engineer for this project,
The entire project.
entire project.
I'm not technical enough to write that kind of a
Well,
bid.
we have two lawyers here tonight, I'm sure they can help us out,
Yeah.
pay them good money.
This calls for technical interpretation.
Can we bring in a
They don't have
consultant?
enough work product, it sounds
Can we
like.
bring in a consultant to check? And can we just bring in a consultant to check the work that's been,
Second opinion kind of
a
thing?
second opinion?
Yeah.
Why don't we just do that?
That sounds like a great idea.
Bring in a consultant, have them look over what's currently been done, assess the situation, and advise us from there.
That's a great idea. Because the challenge is none of us really have the technical ability to see it and see if it's right or not, so.
Well, that's true. And it's not good when you have a few board members who, for whatever reason, maybe by past practice and seeing what issues they've been left with, things to hold, that projects, yeah, they may have got completed, but they didn't get completed,
You had to go back to fix them.
and you had callbacks. So that enters into the mind of some of the board members.
Can I just remind the board, though, that if you go back to square one, you're actually going to prejudice the adjoining landowner who has 18 months to get his project complete. And this is really going to affect his ability, and his non-conforming use he could argue that we're responsible for him losing his non-conforming use. So I just think that maybe we should talk about this.
Yeah, but if we don't touch the wall, if we don't touch the stairs or anything, he can still build. We're not stopping him from building.
This particular project is actually part of the overall site plan.
And you
That's
wouldn't,
why it's delicate right now.
and you wouldn't be able to float his timeline or extend it based on the fact that we have to do our job to allow him to do his job?
Arguably, we already have.
Okay.
So that is
We find ourselves in these predicaments a lot.
this is I think that we should,
What if you bring Nancy in to the next board meeting and have her tell us exactly where they are with this project?
I think that would probably be best. And I think also that if the board wants to get a second opinion, you can ask for that now based on the work product that she has. And John can reach out to another engineer.
Okay, so, planning board has given the owner 18 months to complete the project, correct?
From the date of the, yep.
From the date of when he got the go-ahead to go? Is that how the timeline works?
The day of the fire.
I think it was the day of the fire.
Yeah, and he's made an application in good faith, and it's pending, the determination.
Well, fire was over, how long ago was it?
2 years, huh?
So he has to start doing work within 18 months. It doesn't have to be completed, right?
I don't know.
Well, surely
I don't
he
have
has
the
to start it
conditions.
because he's not gonna complete this project in.
Well, right, but he hasn't laid a
Start.
piece of brick, so I think that's what has to happen. It has to be,
I think next month is 18.
Well, there was
Might be
COVID in there.
Today.
Yeah.
Well,
Might be today, this wasn't in February,
it was February.
26th.
so that would make it 18 months today. Or tomorrow.
I mean, he can get around that.
He made an application. He's got a good faith application going, so.
I mean, I think the planning board could, stop the clock, so to speak, a little bit here on this item, because of this item. He wants,
I can
he wants to do the work and we're holding him up.
I can get an
So-
answer to the board about that particular issue, but
So let's clean this up. Is the board in agreement that John can search around for another engineer to take a look at what has been done already? Is that what we're looking for?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for, yes.
Is that what you're looking for, Adam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mike?
Yep.
Okay. Jen?
Yeah.
Fine. So that's what you do, John.
Get a new engineer to do the project.
No,
No.
to review and analyze
Second opinion.
the existing
Second opinion,
work
that's
the
right.
Casey
So get an
engineer
engineer to sit-
submitted.
To sit down with Casey and go over what they've already done.
Yeah, or the plans, I don't know if they're gonna meet with KC or not, but go over the plans, yes, this is good, no, this is a problem.
Plans? What plans?
The ones Casey's put
Didn't they
together.
put together some kind of thing? Aren't we talking about that they
Give up.
came up with a study?
No, I don't, John.
I don't think they're gonna
Usually
give their stuff up.
professionals don't give up their work
Right.
product.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so the,
yeah.
We had.
I thought we
He
had it.
have to do his own homework.
so.
We don't get
They
it?
gave me a sketch.
Okay. Well then,
Okay, that's fine.
They sent a sketch.
okay,
So
well then I'm
what,
back to
what
square
we
one.
will ask someone is to take a visit to the site, do a walkthrough, give us the best way to remedy this situation.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, it's, there's only a sketch here, and Casey is available to do more work, but they would have to be authorized by this board at this particular moment in time.
Okay,
They're not gonna
so then
get
it
you
sounds like we're not particularly deep into this like we just thought we were.
Yeah, I think he was,
We're in
I
a
don't
quick,
know how much is spent. I think the survey was about 10,000. That was a high number, I remember that.
is the survey work done?
Not totally, she's saying. I thought she said way back, oh gee, John, we already did the survey, so you gotta pay the bill. When I asked her about it a month ago, she said, well, you know, it wasn't totally done. I said, no, I didn't know that.
so these are the
Right.
things that we continually find as we scratch and dig.
So, with John, we
Huh?
got the board here, is,
I know what engineering group I wanna reach.
okay,
Against the wall.
fine. And they want a look at the site.
I'll show them the sketch, I'll show them the work that needs to be done, I'll walk the site with them.
Fine. That's what you do. And let's see if he or she can come up with a doable project.
So I will get a price for your meeting in September and tell you how much that engineer wants to charge for that work effort. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess that's.
We have no choice. We cannot go forward on something that we don't even have,
Right.
being told that we have it when we don't.
Because it involves professional services, we do not have to go through procurement.
Okay. All right, I got it. I know who I'm gonna call tomorrow.
Okay. And I think if you were to bet me $20 sight unseen, I can guess the name.
I think I know it too.
I'm sorry, board, but I have to leave in 15 minutes.
Okay, the clerk passed the handout of all the committees, so I guess if anyone has a bad memory,
Yes,
for,
I actually
these
asked him to
committees?
do that because
because evidently some people have forgotten what committees they're on.
I would just like to go over the meeting schedule to make sure I have it correct. Finance, first Wednesday, 9 a.m., Village Hall. Is that okay?
yes,
Personnel as needed. Tri-Muni, first Thursday of the month. Mayor?
Yes, unless it's
A holiday.
too close for them to process bills on some months.
There might be an exception.
Right, there might be an exception.
Lake, third Monday, 6 p.m.
Correct,
Water, Monday prior to the second Wednesday, 6 p.m.
correct.
No, 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m., sorry. Yep.
3 p.m. Okay, I'll make that correction. Recreation, third Monday, 7 p.m.,
Correct.
Legion Hall. Legislation, fourth Wednesday, 4:30 p.m.,
As needed.
as needed, okay. Police, last Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning.
Yes,
What was
Public-
that last Wednesday, 8:30?
yeah, this morning.
Sorry I missed you.
Public Works, Monday prior to the village board meeting.
Correct.
Fire as needed,
Yep.
and that's it. Okay.
Do you have any type of schedule for the Legion Hall by any chance?
Yes, it's online.
It is online?
Heather keeps it.
Because we sometimes run into people or groups.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, we
If you
have.
do, call me or let me know.
I will.
Years.
All right, the other thing I was asked to give you are the rules for public meetings. And I printed them all out. There was a resolution dated 4/29/2020. It was voted on by the board at the time and passed.
So, read that over. Let's see how good we can come to implementing it on the next meeting. That's good, John. That you did that. Okay. So, we have anything else to add? Cindy, you got something?
Well, yeah, I just want to go back to.
By the new rules, you're supposed to come to the microphone, state your name and address, and you have
3
a
minutes.
short time,
3 minutes. Oh,
180 seconds.
okay. Cynthia Latino, 14 Adams Street, Wappingers Falls. I'm just going back to the report that Nancy submitted for the Bain Park Survey and Master Plan. I got a more detailed letter that she sent to you. She needs direction to move ahead on it. We need to go out to bid for the installation of that playground, and that's out of the scope of the work that she was doing. So it's something we didn't anticipate doing. I think you're aware of the fact that the county came back to us and said we could not piggyback off the bid that that LaGrange had gotten for Compan to do playground equipment and installation for them. They had not said a thing to us about it, over the past 2 years until the end of July. So we do have to go out to bid. Our plan had been to have Compan do the installation. We need to go out to bid on it instead of just giving them the bid. We have to go out to bid on it. So she needs to put together a bid package. So she needs some direction as to what the scope of the project will be in terms of, are we going to do parking? And so what we ended up doing was contacting the county, asking the county what could we, they said we couldn't use certain amount of the grant fund on certain parts of the project, but we could use it on others. We could defer it to other stuff. So it means shifting around how we're doing things. So, but that's going to have to go out to bid. Some of it can be done in-house, but the installation of the playground itself has to go out to bid. She needs direction to create that bid package.
Do we know how much approximately that's going to be?
I think it's 10,000. Is that part of
We're gonna put
it?
the bid package together?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I want to talk to her about, just because it seems,
It seemed high to us.
Seemed high
And
to us.
One of the alternatives that we had looked at doing was, the county does have somebody that could put together a bid package for us. However, she'd have to give them all the information anyway, so I don't know that we would save any money in the process.
Do we have a clue as to how much it might be to install it? Do you know, like from another park, approximately what we might be looking at?
Well, yeah, we had the money in the grant to cover
I
it.
know, but do you know about how much it's going to cost to install it, approximately?
I'm subtracting.
well,
now.
originally with
So
confidence,
60
I was gonna
it's
say.
about 60,000.
That's what I was
But we did make some adjustments because of Pete feeling he couldn't do some of the work that we thought that they would be doing. he didn't feel he had the equipment to do it, so Compan would have the equipment necessary to do the prep work, which is leveling out that parcel, compacting, material we need to get from Tilcon, which we got
We
donated.
can't level out dirt?
He doesn't have bulldozers and stuff like that to level it out, to compact it down and do it. I'm just telling you what I've been told. So because Compan would have the equipment on site anyway to be doing an installation, that's what we're looking at. We changed the scope of the work that needed to be done. But that would all have to be written up into a bid package now that would need to go out to, I think we have to advertise it for a week. We need to have the bid out there for 2 weeks for people to respond to, and then we could open it. I'm really pushing, I really would love to get this playground equipment in this fall.
And maybe I'm wrong, but is it, the installation isn't covered by the grant? We can't use grant money for the
We
installation?
can use grant money for the installation. We cannot use grant money for buying the equipment.
Okay, so installation is grant money.
Installation is grant money. So we have $200,000 of grant money that we can use for the installation. And what we had discussed using it for,
None of that's been used yet? None of that 200,000's been used yet
none
from
of
those
that
two grants?
200,000 has been
Well, you
used
just
yet,
got
except,
the 100,
right.
and then you had the original 100.
Right. So none of it has been used yet, except if we want to. There are some things that I think the Highway Department has already done on the property that we could apply for reimbursement for. But what I'm looking for is the installation would be is covered, but we have to go out to bid on it.
So then, all the equipment came out of the recreation fund?
Yes. Yeah. So that was, we already paid 10,000. The balance of it was 48,500. So total amount was like 58,500 for the equipment.
And we have enough in the recreation
We had enough.
fees to cover the balance for the equipment.
But she's looking for direction in terms
Right.
of our creating a bid package. And again, I think it's, it's a wash if we go to the county and ask the county, person that writes their bids up to create the bid for us. She's going to have to supply the information to them anyway as to what would be required for what we need to be doing on the site and stuff. So I don't know, but so we need to talk to her because I wasn't sure about the 10,000. I don't know if she was giving us a ballpark figure or if that was, because I just got the email this morning. So well, she sent it yesterday, but I just got it.
Well, here's the thing, whatever we pay, now, soft costs aren't gonna be chargeable to the grant, which would be Nancy's fee, which would be Casey's fee. So soft costs aren't. So, why don't we ask for her to give a reasonable estimate of this park to get the basics in, the equipment and whatever, and some of the paving on the walkway or whatever.
Well, that's what she's looking for. She wants some direction from you guys as to how much of this project you want to do. So
Well, it's
what's
hard to-
a
It's hard
necessity?
to answer that if we don't have a bottom line price of what the project is gonna cost.
Well, before she moves ahead on stuff, I think the design work is covered. It's the bid package that she puts out that isn't. So I can go to her and say, okay, we can move forward on the design. This is the part we want done. So what I'm recommending that you try to do to look to see how much it would cost us to do is, number one, to put that playground equipment in. And I know exactly what needs to be done to put that in. And then some of the pathways that lead to it, and to create a small parking area on Clap Avenue, which is existing, but we would be dressing it
Dress
up,
it up, yeah.
paving it, and so on and so forth. So we provide handicapped access into the playground. Okay. I've been collecting bids on fencing, which I'm also going to explore. I'm not sure that we have to do a full fence or if we can do a partial fence. The concern is, number one, if it is an inclusive playground, that there could be a flight risk for some kids using that playground. The back side of that playground is going to have a drop-off. No matter how much they grade it, it's still going to have a drop-off there.
Cindy,
So,
I'm sorry, can you make yourself available to maybe meet with 1, 2, or possibly 3 of us to?
I've offered numerous times. Let me know when you want me to meet, and I'd be happy to sit down and meet with you.
There's just some things that I thought were certain ways that are turning out to be other certain ways. I just would like to get some more information. I don't want to.
I will be honest with you, we did not know until, end of July 29th, I think it was, when we got the call from the
So
county.
things have changed, so that means we
Things have changed in
definitely-
terms of what could be covered by the grant. There had been, up until that point, no indication whatsoever.
So with that being said, and things have been changed, if, I know me personally, I don't know if anybody else is interested in sitting down and talking with you, but I would like to, I know Corey's leaving, but if I could sit down, if you can make some time, and
Yeah.
I'm usually, I'll call you and we'll get together and set up a date.
So, with the thought process being that the engineering firm is looking for a direction to move on this, why don't we just ask them to do
To do work that's within the scope of what they've already have a contract with us for.
correct?
They haven't charged off on that.
Correct.
Because
Is that gonna cost $10,000?
No, the design of the design of the playground, like how it was laid out, how the park was
Is
laid
already
out,
done.
is already done. So, I mean, for me to say to her, this is the parts I want done, I don't think, then she can give me an idea of,
So can we just use that information to go out to bid with, or do we have to?
I don't know, no, because the bid package would need to be created in terms of with more specification to it than what we actually have. The design is one thing, I mean, to lay it out, we're talking about, how far down does it have to go, what types of materials have to be brought in, how much it has to be compacted. All of that stuff would have to be put into a bid package to put out to, the key is that because of where the grant money is coming from, it's coming from the federal government, that they require that it be bid out so that minorities and women-owned businesses have an opportunity to bid on projects like this. And that was a requirement that we were not aware that we would have to follow, because in 2016, I believe it was, New York State passed a piggyback law which allows you on certain contracts to go and just piggyback off somebody else's bid, which is what we did. That's why we went with Compan, because they put a very similar playground to what we were doing into their Freedom Park out in LaGrange, and that was what we did. We had no idea, and again, I wish they had said something to us, 2 years ago, because they've known all along that this is what we did. So, but it wasn't until they came down to trying to put together the contract, for the grant. So, but yeah, I'll meet with it. If you want to, I can meet with all of you, 3 of you, whatever. I'd be happy to sit down and we can go through it step by step, and I can show you where we are. So, but I can tell Nancy, she's looking for a scope. I think she's just looking for us to say, do you want to include the parking in this one, or do you just want to do it's kind of a necessity.
Okay, so, we get a little consensus here. Mike, you have any objection?
No.
And Kevin?
I'd like to meet with them.
And Jen?
I'll meet.
Okay, so there you have it.
Thank you.
Going into exec?
Yes. Motion to go, anybody else have anything? I don't see anybody who might want to speak. A motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so you have 3 who make the motion, 1 who seconds.
Trustee Huber, trustee Nesnick. You gotta say now who's gonna be authorized to go into executive session per your rules.
Well, tonight, we have the 2 attorneys, board members, and the clerk has to be somewhere in
So you
about
got
20 minutes.
David Wise.
Attorney Wise and Attorney Wallace.
have to leave at 6:45. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll wait for him to break everything out.